Peace and love, family and friends, naysayers, whomever. My name is Leon Wheeler Jr., and this is Master Making in Motion. This brief talk today, I guess I want to interject a little more about myself. So we're going to call this part two of who I am. Who am I? The reason for this is, again, I think it's necessary to give you a little more insight about who I am and how I came to be, what brought me to this particular platform, why creating this channel. Just give you some more insight about me, because I think it's necessary for you to, if you have a basic understanding of where I come from, to give you an idea where I'm striving to, what I'm striving to obtain, my mission, more or less. Uh, I was born and raised in a small community in the west side of Detroit. It was actually the southwest side of Detroit, and a neighboring community, a small community on the outskirts of Delray. Raised by my parents, my mother and father, and at the time as a tot, it was just me and my oldest sister. I grew up on a block where it was the blocks around that, a few blocks from both sides, where there's a lot of families with big families. And me being the only male, the only son of my mother and father, I grew up having to fight more than I probably would have liked to have. But these fights actually created a certain mindset in myself, and that brought me to where I'm at now and how I perceive things, and all of this is again an ongoing situation. So as a kid, I grew up fighting the neighborhood kids, uh, whom were more than likely a bigger family with more children in it, more sons. I was bullied a lot, but I quickly turned that around. Well, not quickly, with I guess concentration, focus on changing my conditions. I knew I wasn't going to live that type of life, uh, and that was pretty much inspired by my mother. My mother told me at a young age, she told me that she wasn't going to have a son that was going to be afraid to walk these streets, to walk the streets by myself. And she also said that I would always have a choice. Either I can fight the kids in the streets, or I could fight her. But running was not an option. And I took to that early on. I didn't really like it because a lot of times I had to fight two or three kids at a time. That's almost impossible to win. But I did my best, and I fought, and I did what I had to do. So I went to a school in again the Southwest area. It was called Mayberry, and it was primarily whites and Mexicans. It's probably maybe 10 blacks from my street and the street around the corner from me. Uh, a couple of streets around the corner from me. So it was probably 10 of us at best. I'm probably less than that was going to the school at the time. So we had to fight the Mexicans and whites there. And unfortunately, I was called the N word a lot by the Mexicans, which kind of I didn't really understand that, but that was the reality. They was trying to assimilate and have a relationship with, I guess, the race that seemed like they were most empowered. That was most empowered was the white folks. So that was my upbringing: fighting, and trying to protect myself and survive by myself. Because I had no one to run to for the most part to fight my battles, so I had to fight them all. So I started trying to find different ways to motivate me to become a better human being and figure out what my purpose was. And even as a child, I always felt that I was somewhat created to to be a savior or a servant, to help the community to do whatever is necessary for us to change our conditions. And the mindset developed because of, first and foremost, because of my family. From my father's side, they with strong men, without a doubt. My mother's strong too, and that side was also strong. But my father's side of the family was really unique to me as a tot. My great grandmother, a very small woman, like my mother, a powerful woman. She had one son, my grandfather, who had at the time four children by his wife down south, and he decided to come up north to get a better job, to live a better life. And my grandmother, she wasn't having it. She didn't want to leave, but he went on. So he came to Detroit. He took his mother with him, my great grandmother, straight up warrior. Queen warrior. Uh, Small lady again. I said that, and she came in with him, and he brought his oldest son, which is my uncle Bourbon. They came and established themselves. Then they went back, and my father went back down south and uh, got his other three boys, and he brought them back up to Detroit, which is unique in its own light to me because most men would run from their responsibility, but this man was, being the only son, and maybe that was his motivation or his mother's strong maternal energy or force uh, inspired that. I don't know exactly how that came about, but I know what took place is he brought his four boys, his three boys back, and he had four boys. My oldest is again my uncle Bourbon. My father's the second oldest, Leon Senior. His brother James, and the youngest was my uncle Red. So he brought us all those guys back and established himself in Detroit. They moved over there by the Ambassador Bridge, and he eventually met my mother, who was staying on the outskirts of Delray, Rita, and they got together. They had my oldest sister, and then came me. I now have two other sisters that's be under me. So I fought and I look for inspiration and motivation, looking to find a way to be able to deal with this lifestyle that like I said, I felt like I was being bullied. Mostly some of it because of my complexion. I was being called white boy, unfortunately, by my counterparts. I mean, my other brothers in the neighborhood, and in the end, by the Mexicans in elementary. So I fought, and that created a negative mindset for me. So I'm trying to figure out what am I to do. So one of the things I decided to do was to try to connect with the revolution part of the struggle, being black and conscious of my ethnicity. And that came about from my uncle James for the most part because he was an educated man. Uh, he wore a lot of hats. He was an actor, a nationalist. I would like to call him a historian. He was just all around. He was a Black Panther. He wore a lot of hats. And he was my main inspiration because even though they never taught me anything. Most of my learning is, as I call myself, a self-made boss player striving to be a master. Most of my learning I picked up from afar, just paying attention to a lot of what I saw, and I just put it together as best I knew how to create who I became, who I am today. So, and that was it was a definitely a trying situation for a young man with big dreams and big ideas because at a young age, I kind of saw myself to be like Moses in the Bible. And it was my mission to save my people, to get them out of the clutches, the hand grip that the Pharaoh had on the Egyptians. I looked at that was my mission to get my people together to do that. And I was a kid with this type of a mindset. So I took that attitude throughout my elementary days and my junior high school days, along with watching. Then I got caught up on the silver screen watching the white individual actors and some real descriptions of real gangsters playing themselves, the Italians, like Lucky Luciano and Al Capone and the the Jewish guy, Meyer Lansky. I watched those guys, but my first introduction was the actors, was Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, Edward G. Robinson, and George Raft. That was my reality, and I identified with that. I wanted what they had. They represented power, the women, nice cars, clothes. So these white individuals became like a roadmap to me on what I needed to do in order to survive in my community and how I was going to be able to manipulate the situation to work in my favor. So I was tied between wanting to be a revolutionary and wanting to be a gangster, a hood guy. So this was my reality, and I struggled with that my whole life, mainly wanting to be a revolutionary. But again, I had no knowledge, but I used that as a way to manipulate my way through high school. I mean, well, not high school. I really never made it to high school. To manipulate my way through elementary and junior high. I mean, I caused straight up havoc, straight up hell. I was a very, very bad kid, and it was probably more so, I'm sure, because I was misdirected. I was upset because I knew I was special. I knew I had some qualities. I just didn't know how to utilize them, and that made me mad, and I reacted over and over and over again. I mean, I caused a lot of havoc. My parents was religiously visiting me at junior high school, getting me back in school for stuff that I've created. So, in a nutshell, this is my mindset. You know, wanting to be a revolutionary and trying to use illegal, the mindset of the illegal activities of the gangsters to make a stance, to create a foundation in the community. And I did. I did exactly that, and I built a reputation. Unfortunately, not all good, but most people recognized in me that I had a particular calling, that I was a special kid. Unfortunately, again, not having the knowledge, it caused me a lot of heartaches and pain. You know, I've been shot up quite a few times. I'm still able to utilize all my limbs and all of that. Prison time, I did 23 years in the prison. I mean, my life has been definitely an adventure, and I'm somewhat grateful because to me, all of these particular tasks led me to where I'm at now. I wrote two books. I wrote my first book when I was incarcerated. Uh, Here it is. First book is I showed this book before. It's Code and Ethics for Up and Coming Players. And my second book is King, A Master in the Making. I wrote these books as my way of giving back, hoping to inspire young brothers and sisters to be the best human beings that they can possibly fathom themselves in their imagination to be. And that's why I call myself a master in the making. I'm striving to be the best that I see myself possible to be. And to be honest, I see it as being in a brotherhood with characters, and I mean no disrespect by using the language that I'm using, characters or figures that we mostly look to as inspiration. You know, I mean, I feel like I want to join the community of the wise ones who walk before us, and I believe that it's definitely possible for me to make that transition. Because if one person did it, I believe we all can do it. And and when I say those wise individuals, I'm speaking about the concepts that you all hold dear to your heart: Jesus Christ, the Buddha, Moses, Solomon, Job, Jacob, Muhammad. So I look to these individuals as step as role models or guides. And this is the company that I want to find myself in. That might be a big task, but why think small? And I think I'm a great individual, but I think that about you also. So anyway, this is my vision. This is my mission. And it is to share with you all the best of me in hopes to bring out the best in you. And in doing so, I'm going to challenge a lot of stuff. I mean, because I've studied a lot of stuff during that time in incarceration, at 23-year prison sentence. I studied vehemently. I mean, I've read a lot of books about a lot of subjects. I won't go on record to say that I'm a master at any particular field at all, other than striving to master me. That's my goal: to master my emotions, to master my feelings, how I operate, me. And to me, that's the biggest job set forth for any individual. However, you may feel being a master at a particular skill opposite of who you are may be important to you. But I'm here to help us grow individually and collectively, because one thing I want to add to this, I see us all as one. And that's through my particular spiritual uh, soul's journey, sojourn, as they would say, as I say. So, far as in my soul's journey, this is what I strive to do and strive to be the best human being that I can be for you, first and foremost for me, but for you because I believe that we are one, and that's through my spiritual awakening, uplifting. And I'm going to challenge again. I'm going to challenge some things purposely, not to offend, but just to motivate. And I'm going to end on this note. I'm hoping that I did something to express who I am. But I'm going to end on this note that I believe that one of the biggest problems that we have as Black people, and that's who I'm first and foremost talking to primarily. But I realize all people, we are all the same. It's just different complexions, and the small differences doesn't separate us. What separates us is our perception of these differences. But I know we're just one, and that doesn't make you who you are, nor does it make me who I am. These differences. What makes us who we are is how we perceive ourselves and how we perceive the world outside of ourselves. It's all about your mindset, your intellect, how you perceive these things. So I want to tell you that I believe that following the traditions that's antiquated is one of the biggest problems that I see. And I'm not never going to try to tell you what's best for you. Spirituality says it teaches a man how to think, and they say religion teaches people what to think. I'm not trying to tell you how to think or what to think. I just want you to think and and challenge yourself. And if you find something that's beneficial to you, that's can help you become a better human being, I suggest that you try it. And that's what I can tell you about my success. And I feel I've made great uh, leaps and bounds through my particular soul's journey, through my spiritual growth. I know I'm not the same individual that I was when I was causing all that havoc. But I had to go through the fire, the hellfire, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, in order to be replenished. And I'm not saying I'm healed, I'm totally healed, but I'm working on it. And I'm working on it for us. So, because again, we are one. Well, I'm not going to keep going. I just wanted to give a little more read on about who I am. So, in the future, when I start challenging us, would have an idea why. So and I'm gonna ask you to do this too, because it's important for me to be able to get my message out. I'm gonna ask that you like and share something that this what you've heard. If you see that you can possibly help someone else, and subscribe to the channel. master making in motion, because this is about us. You know, this is real liberation talk. This is freedom talk from a boss player striving to become a master player. And when I say master, I'm talking about master over myself. And I'm gonna drop this one more thing. And also, when I use the word player, I've come up with my own definition, but a byproduct of Webster and the Oxford Dictionary. Uh, but in a nutshell, a player to me is just a participant, participating in God's drama, in God's movie, in His reel, in His reality. And we're playing different roles. So we're all players. I'm not talking about playing on nobody or taking advantage. I'm talking about being the best individual that you can be, playing whatever role is necessary for you to get what you need out of life and to become the best human being that you can possibly fathom. My favorite word that I've coined for myself is be. And when I say be, I want you all to know that that's not my name. Because you said I've been using it for some years. It's not, I don't consider myself to be be. You know, I am being instead of just claiming and doing. I desire to be what I want to see in the world. And one of the things I want to see in the world is love. So my strive is to be love made manifested in human form. I want to learn how to love you properly, love myself properly, and uh, and be loved properly and accept love properly. So with that is in mind, I just want you to leave by simply being the best human being that you can be. I say